Shalom, friends. Today I want to talk about one of the Jewish holidays that have to do with the destruction of the first and second temple and commemorates the days that bring us until the destruction of the first and second temple. I want to start off by saying that in Judaism we go by the Hebrew calendar, which has everything to do with the lunar calendar, the time that the moon rotates around the earth, around 29 and a half days. And that is a month in the Jewish calendar versus the Gregorian calendar that you guys know that goes by the 365 days to a year. In this way, by the Jewish calendar, a year is around the 353 days or 355 days. But to bring it back to track, meaning not only to go by the lunar calendar, but also after a few years to return back to the solar calendar, just like the Gregorian calendar, what we do is after 4 years, we add an additional month. So every 4 years we have Adar B, Adar Bet, and therefore in that year we have 13 months. And that's why you could say every year the celebrations, the holidays change if we compare it to the Gregorian calendar that is used worldwide. On the 17th of Tammuz, a Jewish holiday that is right now, not the 17th of Tammuz, but Tammuz the month. On the 17th of Tammuz, something happened. Well, actually, a few things happened. But it's one of the days of fasting in the Jewish faith. On the 17th of Tammuz, it's believed that after the many years of uprising between the Jews and the Romans 2,000 years ago, in the year 70, finally, on the 17th of Tammuz, the Romans managed to breach through the walls of Jerusalem. And because of that, on the 17th of Tammuz, we fast. We fast, but not only because of that. We fast because of a few things that happened on the 17th of Tammuz, which is the 9th of July. It turned out the 9th of July this year. We believe that on the 17th of Tammuz also, when Moses went up to Mount Sinai and the people of Israel were talking to Aaron, his brother, about changing their leader. They weren't satisfied with Moses. Eventually Moses came down and the two tablets with the 10 commandments broke. We believe it happened on the 17th of Tammuz as well. Also, on the 17th of Tammuz, after the Romans managed to breach through the walls of Jerusalem in the year 70 AD, the daily sacrifice was cut. No more a sacrifice that we would give to the Lord in the morning and in the evening. No sacrifice before that, no sacrifice after that. It stopped because the priests themselves had to fight against the Romans, and there was no pure priest that was found that was available to give these offerings. So that too happened. Also, as I said, the walls of Jerusalem were breached through in the year 70 by the Romans, led by Titus. The walls were so big, so thick, but the Romans, with their power, managed to do so. And that happened as well on the 17th of Tammuz. Again, this year it falls on the 9th of July, but next year it will fall on another day due to the lunar calendar versus the Gregorian calendar. And this was added later on, the burning of the Torah book by a man called Aphostimus. Now, we don't know who this Aphostimus was. Some people say maybe it had to do with Antiochus Epiphanes at the end of the Greek period, around 167 BC. that in the time of the Hasmonean days, he burned the book of the Torah, or maybe it has to do with a Roman soldier by the same name that burned the Torah book, thinking that the Jews cannot survive without it, trying to punish them. Josephus Flavius, a historian from that time, writes about a Roman soldier burning a Torah book by Beit Huron, a bit northwestern to Jerusalem. Could it be the same story? I don't know. But it just gives you an idea how jealous, how envious the Jews are for the book of our fathers, that how horrified we are from the blasphemy of this punishment of a Roman soldier burning a book with the words of the Lord written on them. Of course, the Jews complained to the Romans leaders here, and we don't know if the soldier was punished or not at that time, but it happened on the 17th of Tammuz, and it's commemorated as well. In Lamentations 1 verse 3, it talks about in the days of distress. Now, from the 17th of Tammuz until the date that we believe, that we know the first and second temple were destroyed on the 9th of Av, another Jewish month that comes after Tammuz. Actually, the 1st of Av starts in 2 more days, on the 22nd of July this year. These are called the days of distress, the days that we're troubled in. In this 3 weeks, from the 17th of Tammuz until the 9th of Av. These days commemorate the days of distress and the trouble that are connected to the destruction of the first and second temple. Both of them on the same day. How about that? In these days, we conduct grieving rituals that worsen as we get closer to the 9th of Av, that take a harder line as we get closer to that date. In these days, we engage in some practices, but mostly we are prohibited from some acts of rejoicing, such as we're not allowed to hear music that makes us happy, such as no marriages, no big celebration. You know that marriage is a religious ritual of happiness. You have to be happy for the bride and groom. But in these days, for these 3 weeks, again, it starts out this year from the 9th of July until the 30th of July, because the 9th of Av is on the 30th of July this year. For these 3 weeks, no marriages, no celebrations. Of course, if a baby is born, you have to do the circumcision. You cannot postpone that after the 8 days. But a marriage you can postpone. In some Jewish sectors, you're not allowed to shave. You're not allowed to get your hair cut. But 9 days before the 9th of Av, meaning on the 1st of Av, that will start in 2 more days, it becomes more and more strict. We're not allowed to renovate houses, paint, buy new furniture that make us happy, buy new clothes. Some people do not eat meat because it makes us happy, it makes us joyful. And we do not drink wine. It's hard for a Jewish person, because wine, we celebrate with every little thing. In the week of 9th of Av, meaning on the 3rd of Av, something like that, or sometimes it's from the Shabbat evening, after Shabbat exits, to the end of the 10th of Av. Now, why am I saying 10th of Av if I just said that the 9th of Av is the day that we believe first and second temple were destroyed? Because it's believed that the first temple, as it's written in Jeremiah, actually was destroyed on the 10th of Av and not the 9th of Av. But the rabbis thought it through, and they said that the beginning of the burning, the beginning of the destruction, started on the 9th of Av, on the same day, folks. First and second temple. Absolutely amazing. So we continue with these rituals until the 10th of Av. In this week, before the 9th of Av or 10th of Av, we're not allowed to get any haircut. Everyone, some people do not even wash their clothes. Not allowed to take showers that are enjoyable. It's that severe. And of course, the 9th of Av. The 9th of Av, the day of the destruction of both temples. It's a day of fasting. Now, the days of fasting that are not the 9th of Av and not Yom Kippur usually start off from sunrise to sunset. But on 9th of Av, as well as Yom Kippur, it starts from sunset until the next day's sunset. I don't know if you guys know, but a day in Judaism starts from sunset. When it gets dark and you're able to see 3 stars in the sky, that's when the day starts, until the next day when sun sets and you see 3 stars in the sky. So the fasting of 9th of Av is a longer fasting day for at least 24 hours. Sometimes they take an extra hour to keep safe. It is the only day of the year that we are forbidden to read and learn the Torah. We're so connected to the book of God. But on that day, we're not even allowed to read the Torah, except for words of grief and sadness that are in the book. Now, folks, I think you have an idea how important the temple was and is for a Jewish person. Every day a Jewish man and woman in their prayers pray, may the Lord build the temple once again in our lifetime. And even in one of our most happiest days, when we get married, we rehearse Psalms 137 saying, if I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand be forgotten. If I don't put you in front of my happiness, let my tongue cling to the roof of my mouth. It's always Jerusalem and it's always the temple. And we also know that when the 3rd temple would be built, that's when Messiah will return. So I hope this lesson about Judaism is enjoyable for you guys. We're in these days of stress and grief. Started a week and a half ago, something like that, until the 30th of July, the 9th of Av. That comes out this year. Anyway, see you soon, folks. Shalom.